top gear this week, Tiff Needell puts Rover's Coupe Turbo through its paces. Chris Goffey investigates an East German dynasty. And Tony Mason joins the classic rallying crowd in the Yorkshire forests.
If you spent around £20,000 or maybe even more on a high-performance road car and want to enjoy it to the full, you've either got to get on a racetrack or leave England and head for the Autobarns of Germany. For this trip, we chose the Rover 220 Coupe Turbo, the fastest production car Rover's ever produced. On offer for only £18,400, this was a car to measure alongside the best in class from Ford and Vauxhall, the Escort Cosworth and Calibra Turbo, high-performance cars at a reasonable cost. Now I'm relaxed and comfortable and cruising at 130 miles an hour. I'm not going to look at the camera or take my hands off the wheel, but it's perfectly safe in this high-performance car and perfectly legal on this quiet German Autobahn. So often after accidents you hear that the cause was that people were driving too fast. But it's always a question of driving too fast with the conditions. Too fast round a corner, too fast in a built-up area. On a quiet English motorway, 80 miles an hour may well be perfectly safe. Whilst when it's busy, 70 miles an hour might be too fast. If it's raining, 50 miles an hour might be too fast. If it's foggy, 30 miles an hour might be too fast. But speed should always be related to the conditions. Indeed, the Rover at 130 miles an hour was relaxed and confidence-inspiring on the smooth Autobahn. It was stable, passing slower traffic, and because the Germans are used to these high speeds, the lane discipline is excellent. But as the traffic builds up, you do need to ease back. So the Rover's very impressive for high-speed cruising. But what's it like around country lanes? Let's take the scenic route. 200 horsepower driving the front wheels can be an embarrassment under some conditions, but the Rover power plant has a beautifully smooth delivery that almost belies the fact that it's turbocharged. But it needs plenty of cooling, and the noisy fans were a real irritation at slower speeds or in traffic. Handling around the tight hairpin bends didn't show the Rover at its best. Heavy, dead steering gave little feel. And was that wheel spin I detected? When this Turbo Coupe was launched, I was impressed when I heard it had traction control. But it hasn't. Well, it has if you count an advanced Torsen limited slip differential. But in modern terms, this is not traction control. In Damon Hill's Williams, or even in a humble Ford Mondeo, the latest traction control means you can't spin the wheels and burn rubber. Electronics sense when the tyres are about to slip, and they then reduce engine power to prevent wheel spin. Of course, there are other reasons than unrestricted autobahns for going to Germany, and this is one of them. The Nürburgring is the best driver's circuit ever built, and it's open to anyone. And so, out onto this old Nürburgring circuit. We've paid our 15 marks, just, what, £5, and we're now going to do a lap of this wonderful track and really see how this Rover performs. Into these tight corners, second gear. The Rover turns in very well as we power out, though. Traction good on that corner. Heading now down to Adenauer Bridge, one of another famous landmarks of the circuit. Braking on the Rover needs a lot of pressure, but they work very well indeed. We flick left and right, uphill. Well, we're about halfway around the Nürburgring now, and I'm in two minds really about the Rover. The ride is very good. It takes all these little bumps and undulations at high speed very well, but cornering, the actual handling, well, there's understeer as you'd expect with the front wheel drive, but Unlike the Calibre, it's not very predictable. There isn't very good feedback through the steering. It doesn't give the driver that satisfaction that I look for. Now this climbing approach to the carousel, you always aim for Jackie Stewart's tallest tree. So if we aim for that straight at the tall tree, it leads you into the carousel. This banked corner, bumpy concrete, but a real feature of the Nürburgring. The driving position on the Rover isn't that good, to be honest. Although I can get my legs comfortable, there's no telescopic adjustment on the steering wheel. So, as with the Vauxhall, I can't quite get the arm lengths right. Also, the seats, nice leather, but that's not what you need on a racetrack. They don't really hold you that well either.
But then, the Rover wasn't designed for the unbridled pleasure of driving around 13 miles of the glorious Nürburgring. As a fast road car, it's attractive, well-built and very quick in a straight line. But the spongy steering and unpredictable handling has taken away much of the fun. It beats the Vauxhall Calibre for its stylish interior, but for driver satisfaction, give me the Escort Cosworth any day.